Dreaming of a different life while deeply entangled in a relationship that feels unhealthy or painful or draining? Do you feel like you've tried everything? Therapy, visualizing, affirmations, even trauma healing, and the situation and circumstances aren't changing? Here's the truth that most people don't talk about. Trying to make changes from survival mode often backfires. So if you are in this situation, how can you start to make headway toward a new reality? But before we get into that, let me introduce myself. I'm Melissa. I am a compassion key master and healing facilitator, and I'm also someone who's lived through this. I've been in trauma bonded relationships where I needed to shift. I knew I needed to shift, but felt completely bound by the dynamics, totally exhausted, and felt powerless to extricate myself. And today I want to share with you why your attempts at change feel doomed or slow or ineffective, and how you can start to take steps to shift the underlying momentum. You see, when you're in a trauma-bonded relationship, your nervous system is constantly dysregulated. You're always moderating your responses in fear of the other person's potential reaction, right? You often feel like you can't really be yourself and that you need to protect yourself because you yourself are being triggered into protection mode. You're often confused or fearful and defensive. You're doubting yourself, you're hiding, you're lying, you're pretending. Because these relationships involve subtle and overt attacks on your sense of self. You might be being undermined psychologically and emotionally, or even socially and professionally. Your perception of reality is questioned and challenged. You're being demeaned, dismissed, manipulated, often in ways that erode your personal power and leave you second-guessing your intuition or sense of reality. Right? And this isn't just psychological, it's energetic. It ripples out through your field and creates a disempowered energy field around you that other people pick up on and can plug into, which makes you vulnerable to similar situations and circumstances at work and in friendships. And in that fragmented state, it's really difficult to create clear change and make empowered choices. You're caught in a loop that naturally impedes your ability to manifest or even imagine something different. This is why Dr. Ramani, the renowned expert on narcissistic abuse, highly recommends that when you are able to extricate yourself from relationship dynamics like this, you should spend at least 1 year alone to recalibrate yourself. Get back in touch with who you are outside of all the modifying and the mediating and the altering that was such a huge part of your day-to-day reality inside the relationship. I've been there. I was in several relationship dynamics that reflected my own tendency to rip myself apart and doubt my own inner wisdom and limit myself in many, many, many ways. In trauma-bonded dynamics, especially where narcissistic patterns are involved, your sense of self is constantly under siege. Right? There's psychomanipulation, criticism, and emotional withdrawal. These are all typical patterns that can undermine your sense of reality and power. You may not even be in a position to leave because your resources or personal relationships, your energy and your confidence have been eroded to a significant degree. This is why resorting to covert but healthy self-preservation is key. You see, while withdrawal is seen as unhealthy in normal relationships, in toxic dynamics, it can be vital protection. This is where tools like gray rocking and yellow rocking come in, where you can begin to significantly limit what you share so the other person cannot twist or control or weaponize your lived experience and emotions against you. The less access they have, the less they can wield over you. As you begin to hold your sacred space quietly, inwardly, taking moments when you can to close your eyes and breathe and pause in your car or in the bathroom or when you're waiting in line, upon waking up or when you settle into sleep at night, you can start to rebuild your relationship with your own power and your own self. And the possibility, and more over time, the eventuality that your future can and will be different. And you can look for and start to notice opportunities to get support, emotional support, and possibly even physical support to heal and shift. I mean, here's what shifted everything for me, powerfully turning within, right? I stopped trying to influence the outside and started protecting and healing the inside in a very focused and very intense way. I started using the compassion key, and I started clearing survival imprints and beliefs like that I could only see myself clearly when reflected in another, that relationships were inherently hard, and that I needed challenges to make me stronger, that I had to modify myself to earn love, and it was my job to patiently tolerate others, that no one cares about me or hears me or listens to me, and it's best if I stay small and out of the way. These are just a few of the many beliefs I now realize were just holding me back. Through gray rocking, I kept my new realizations and understandings to myself, and they were untouchable. This gave me breathing room to build my strength while witnessing the dynamic which continued to play out even though I no longer participated in it or contributed to it. I started to notice that my triggers were losing their power over me. And as the calm, knowing state expands, your energy field starts to settle and your nervous system regulates. And you start to feel and know, I am safe, I am. And I choose peace inside. Inside I am peaceful, and I am doing the work. When you reclaim that inner ground and you begin healing, you also begin to raise your vibration. You actually start broadcasting a new signal, right? A signal of coherence and sovereignty and calm knowing. And from there, you are incrementally altering the survival mode energy and moving the needle more toward inevitable creation and ultimate freedom. David Hawkins' scale of consciousness has shown us that fear and shame and guilt and grief and frustration and disappointment, they all vibrate very low, right? So by continuing to feed energy into those stories, it keeps us stuck in these dynamics and in these relationships. But through compassion and meditation, you begin to shift into neutrality and courage and willingness and ultimately peace and love, where a more empowered state becomes possible. Even if you can't exit the relationship right away, you can still start to build strength inside of yourself and begin to dip your toe into an experience free from the drama, the fear, and the constant compensation. One breath, one thought, and one moment at a time. So what can you do right now? Well, first, acknowledge the truth, right? You've been undermined, you've been dismissed and made to feel powerless. And while you might have gotten used to it, it's not normal and it's not okay. It's the signature of trauma bonding, and it can be dismantled and healed. And here's how. You start small. Focus on calming your energy, incrementally clearing the chaos with simple self-directed compassion statements which honor your real emotional experience. Okay? You can download my free guide and meditation to enter the calm knowing state. It's linked down below. It's designed for inspiration and possibility thinking and to reorient your sense of yourself and your place in the universe. You might consider a one-on-one compassion key session. Even one session can significantly unearth and unravel these entanglements and shine light on your real and true power. Start working on dismantling your old and building a new self-concept. My Sovereign Self course is a deep dive into this process. But I also offer lots of other free tools and affordable one-on-one options. So no matter what, okay, start meditating. Start breathing. Start speaking to yourself with compassion. Those powerful and essential tools are always free and available 24/7. This is how you break the loop. You don't have to stay stuck, okay? You don't have to keep hoping for things to change, trying to fix things outside of you that you don't have control over and that are hurting you. Let's move together into coherence and power and true freedom. Thank you for joining me today. I hope this helped. Until next time.